Hello everyone, welcome back. In a world obsessed with power and progress, one nation has mastered a weapon so silent, yet so dominant: money itself. The United States, with a debt that has crossed $50 trillion, should by all logic be drowning in crisis. But instead, it stands taller than ever, shaping economies, deciding global policies, and controlling the world's future through an invisible web of debt. Today, we uncover the untold truth behind this trillion-dollar illusion, how the U.S. turned debt from a weakness into a global tool of control. This is the story of the $50 trillion trap. In today's world, wars are no longer fought with weapons, but with money. While many nations build armies, the United States built something far more powerful: a financial empire. This empire runs not on gold or oil, but on debt, a system so deeply rooted that every nation depends on it. Right now, the U.S. owes more money than any country in history. Yet, instead of falling, it dominates, because the world's economy runs on American promises. In 1944, world leaders met in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, to rebuild the post-war economy. Their decision changed history. The U.S. dollar became the global reserve currency. With 2/3 of the world's gold, America was the only nation stable enough to back everyone's money. Other countries tied their currencies to the dollar, and the dollar was tied to gold. The U.S. became the banker of the planet. But by 1971, America made a move that would redefine global power forever. President Richard Nixon shocked the world by cutting the dollar's link to gold. From that moment, the dollar wasn't backed by metal, it was backed by trust. Most feared this would destroy confidence. Instead, the dollar got stronger because the world had no alternative. Now, America could print unlimited money, and every nation still needed it. That was the day the debt trap was born. A system where paper money replaced gold and belief replaced value. In 1973, the U.S. made a secret deal with Saudi Arabia. America would protect the kingdom, and in return, all oil sales would be done in U.S. dollars. This single move changed everything. Every country needed oil, and to buy oil, they first needed dollars. This created permanent demand for U.S. currency. Even as America printed more and more money, global trust never faded because oil, the lifeblood of the world, was priced in U.S. dollars. Now the U.S. turned debt itself into a weapon. It began selling treasury bonds, borrowing money from countries like China and Japan. These nations lent their savings to the U.S. because they trusted its economy. And the cycle began. The world buys U.S. debt. The U.S. prints more dollars. The world uses those dollars for trade. America borrows again. The U.S. became the center of all global finance, controlling not through force, but through dependence. Today, when all debts are combined, federal, corporate, and household, America owes over $50 trillion. By logic, it should collapse. But it doesn't, because the U.S. has built the only system where debt equals power. Every dollar America owes is a dollar the world expects back in a currency only the U.S. can print. It's like holding a magic credit card with no limit because the whole world believes it will never default. This debt-based system gives the U.S. control over almost every global institution. 85% of international trade is in U.S. dollars. The IMF and World Bank, both dominated by U.S. influence, issue loans mainly in dollars. Countries that borrow in dollars remain tied to U.S. policies, and when any nation dares to challenge this dominance, like Iran or Russia, they can be cut off from the dollar network, instantly crippling their economies. Debt, once seen as weakness, is now America's most powerful weapon. But this global dominance comes with a dark side. When America prints more money, inflation doesn't hit the U.S. first, it hits the rest of the world. poorer nations suffer as their currencies lose value while the dollar remains strong. It's like America exports its inflation, making others pay the price of its spending. This invisible system keeps developing countries locked in cycles of debt, dependency, and poverty, while the U.S. continues to live beyond its means. Some countries are trying to break free. China and Russia are developing alternative payment systems. The BRICS nations are planning a new trade currency, and global gold purchases are at their highest since the 1970s. But the truth is, the dollar's roots run too deep. Every nation still relies on the U.S. for trade, banking, and stability. Breaking free could cause global chaos, and no country wants to risk that. With U.S. debt rising beyond $50 trillion, many experts warn that even America's financial dominance has limits. If the world loses faith in the dollar, the entire system could crash, triggering a financial earthquake bigger than 2008. But until that day comes, America will continue to rule, not through war, not through empire, but through debt. The $50 trillion debt isn't a burden, it's a strategy. A silent, sophisticated form of control that binds the world to America's economy. While the rest of the world struggles to stay afloat, the U.S. keeps printing, borrowing, and expanding because everyone else is still playing by its rules. In the end, this is not just economics. It's power disguised as finance. The question isn't whether the U.S. can afford its debt. The real question is, can the world afford America's dominance? If you found this breakdown insightful, like, comment, and subscribe for more deep financial insights.